hanging out here at the, oh geez, I got to check the list again. We're out at the Northeast Dirt Modified Museum and Hall of Fame. Did I get it right, Rich? All right, the name had changed. This is Joe Marotta, of course, and the car that we're standing next to is one that is very iconic, and of course the driver is one of the more iconic ones at Oswego Speedway. Joe, what memories come to mind when you see this Jimmy Shampine car?
Well, you know, as soon as you see the color, the 8-ball, the name, it's just fantastic history. And it's great just to be in here in the museum. I knew Jimmy very, very well. Obviously, it's my daughter-in-law's father, and it just rewrote the record books in super modified racing. And of course, one of the things that Jimmy did, all the engines were straight in line back in the early days, and Jimmy went to the offset.
Oh, he was the first one to do that.
He was the first one to go to the offset, and it just rewrote the history books up there at the Oswego Speedway.
So up until that time, the engines were right between the rails, just like every other race car on the planet.
Yeah, some of them
much,
were
right?
offset just a little bit to the left, but he's the first one that really hung it out. And it's just a fantastic piece of history here at the museum.
How long did it take before everybody started doing that, or did
Well,
they?
within the next year or two, you started to see a lot of the offsets come in. You know, one of the things they used to do at the Oswego Speedway was old Indy cars. Those were kind of a regular at the Speedway. And, of course, they replaced them with big block Chevrolets. But Jimmy never went for that. He went for his own invention, and he has certainly made the mark up there at the Oswego Speedway. As a matter of fact, you look at this car right now, and I'm reading some of the history on it. It last won in 2002.
Really?
And,
that late?
yeah, and it's just a great piece of history here at the museum.
And when did this come out? Do you know?
Yes, according to this here, it was built in the winter of 75, 76. And of course, after Jimmy did this and proved it right, then he came out with the rear engine and came out with many different styles.
Was he always an innovator?
Well, that's what made him a champion. That's what made him good. He wouldn't relax at just winning because he knew someone would be there to replace it, so he would advance up one more step in front of everyone, and he was the innovator.
Any particular memory about this car here?
Oh, boy. I remember seeing it at Fulton Speedway. I was announcing back then, and it was just an awesome piece of race equipment, and, of course, he would go right to the front no matter where he started. And Jim was a great driver. Whether he ran on dirt or whether he ran on asphalt, he was just an absolute great driver. And, you know, he drove way ahead of that front bumper, knew where to go and so on. Very seldom did you see in any heavy crash or any bad incident.
And one of the things, too, you can see how tight this compartment is. And I'm going to do something with Camden Proud. They're even tighter today. By the way,
yeah.
You're going to be surprised. So exactly how tight these are. This spoiler that's on the back, was that pretty much standard for the time, or was this bigger, smaller than what everybody else was doing, or how much of that do you actually remember?
If my memory serves me correct, they started to come out with the spoilers back and then at that time. And, of course, he was probably one of the first ones to improve on the spoiler.
The rear engine car, you said that was after this?
After this, yes.
Okay. How did that one do?
Oh, it did well. It did
Yeah?
well, yeah. And I don't, what's his name has the car? Jimmy Padnoster.
Oh, really?
Still has the car up there in Oswego. Jimmy bought it, if I'm not mistaken, out of, I think, out of the West Coast. It ended up in the West Coast. And he bought it, got it transported back to Oswego, and restored the car in its entirety, and it sits up in Jimmy's shops right now.
This one is all the way in the back left corner, guys, so make sure to get a hold of these guys here. Make sure to look them up here at the Northeast Dirt Modified Museum and Hall of Fame. Look them up on Facebook. Like you said, you can make an appointment to come here, and they're also raffling off a Bicknell car. So, Joe, thank you so much for sharing some memories. Good to see you again, my friend.
Good seeing you guys.